Well, hello everybody. Breaking news. Problematic as well too because it's cost us a lot in the narrative we're going forward with. Contact with Russia now extremely limited. I had one contact email left, and today, of all days, the way things work, I head off to Toronto to go see Ambassador Oleg Stepanov, have the pictures. I go there, consulate locked down. I walk in, I go into the elevator, boom, elevator won't take you to the floor. Okay, so I go up, I go to Bermuda and another country, and I get a hold of them on a different floor, the other consulates here in Canada, and I talk to them. They say, we don't know what's going on, but the floor was locked down an hour ago. There's nobody there. You go to the stairwell doors, they've locked out that whole fifth floor. So there goes Russia in Canada that I know of so far. I don't know what's going on. I check the news. Get home here, kind of really choked, bummed out. It's been a long, hard day. I'm down to, now I have to call Moscow tomorrow to see what we're going to do, as I need contact with Dmitry Polanski, specifically in private email. All 5 UNSC P5 members receive emails, but Russia, we're locked out as Canadians that I know of. We're locked out. I've tried every phone number, every email, nada. And then there in the consulate in Toronto. Now, I don't know about Ottawa. I know that the same effect is in the other 2. BC, everybody left the office. The Russians quit. I guess it's pretty scary these days. They left. They're not working there anymore. I don't know the status of the rest, but I do know this. That Canadian general for sexual misconduct, ordering a subordinate to have sex with them. She got pregnant. There was a hidden child there. All of that explosive news. He left to go be a mercenary and fight for the Ukrainians against the Russians. Well, he was captured, and that happened right about 40 minutes before I got to the consulate, which is now locked down. So, no contacts should remain in Canada, none whatsoever, which means now I have to fly to New York. I have to try and go see Dmitry Polanski firsthand and exchange real person. Hopefully I can secure an email. That's all there is left. I'm going to call Moscow tomorrow. Maybe there's some silver lining here yet. I don't know, but I don't like it. This happened with China and Canada, and we saw what Canada did in the lockout over that. Canada can't win these things. That fella is finished. He's going as a mercenary. He's done. So, I don't know, but I know that Canada isn't going to bail him out, and I don't think Russia is going to be a face in Canada. They remain in New York. I know that. I know they cannot remove the UNSC Russia P5 member. But as far as Canada, it's King's Court here. It's King's Privy, which is Justin Trudeau and all the opposition, mind you, the Conservatives, NDP. We don't have a democratic system here in Canada. It's the illusion of such, which continually proves time and time again, as we, the people, are never allowed anything. We're not. Waste our time, resources. Canada closes off any ounce of real justice. Canada runs like the yellow-bellied chicken shit it really is from any kind of accountability. The worst kind of colonial atrocities committed for the longest running time, definitely by Canada. They try to stay under the radar with it, but we've got them pretty well bent over a barrel here, and it's very sad when we're not even allowed to communicate with the outside world. What kind of country is this? Garbage. Garbage. It's a garbage country. I've suspected this for at least 5 years. I built a political party in an attempt to fight that the legal way, and now I want to fix Canada the legal way. 2 paths Any province can take one path, or they can all come together and do the other path. That's the goal. That's the agenda. Fixing Canada requires settling the claims. 87% of Canada is available to no one except for those royal, divine, colonial first-class citizens that you all elect. And we need to shut it down. That's what we're doing here. That's what residential school genocide promises to do. If you haven't read the South African example, I suggest everybody go read that. Canadians, you would be out of your mind not to want to go along with this. People crying in their soup over the housing bubble. The generation now has nowhere to go. The government's got plans of massive socialism and subsidize half or even less than half the rate of the actual growth through colonial immigration. Man, people, come on. Your government's not your friend. They haven't been your friend for a very, very long time. In fact, they've never been your friend since 1867 onward. For all First People, if you trust any of the political parties since the Indian Act 1876 that is alive and well today, legal in Canada, I don't know what to tell you. And Canadians, if you don't see the overlap of South Africa, you lived it, you created it. That template went on to become South Africa and apartheid. That template went on to become Nazi Germany. It goes on and on through so many colonial countries of the 193 UN states. You will find a lot of them overlap Canada. That's why I do my residential school genocide stories. But we're at a real heightened problem here, right near with 30 days to get some things done here. And now it looks like I'm going to have to go all the way to New York. I'm going to have to fly out there, organize that, and I hope I get it done in time, because I literally got to get that done before at least mid-June by the very latest. So it's stressful. It's stressful to be hit with this now. And in this situation, some pervert first-class sworn general in Canada who used his position to take advantage of women, went over as a merc. Like I told everybody, don't go as a mercenary to Russia, a UNSC P5 member. If you're not executed, you will be. And more than that, you're going to be prosecuted right there in Moscow, and that's what's going to happen to this fella. And I wouldn't expect the Canadian government being able to do anything about it. Literally nothing. If you don't believe me, look at how many U.S. military personnel who really should have been where they were have been executed that way or put through the coals by Russia. And I mean vice versa, and all the P5 have done it all over the world. No one less than France. They've executed most world leaders by far, bar none. They've executed the most. It's not murder, it's the power that we've all voted them to have. That is the glorious allies of World War II. This is what the world said was just and fair. Read your UN Charter, 1945. So I don't know. We're at a little bit of a standstill. I'm going to contact Russia. I mean, it's sad. I want to continue forward, but from having Russia to not having Russia, we don't get to just say, well, we'll go forward with the P4 and wait till we can get a hold of Russia. It doesn't work like that. If we don't have all P5 in communication, you're likely to see a veto on action, or they're just going to look at it come Residential School Genocide Day, coming very shortly, 60 days away now, guys, less. And it's scary. We need to get things done, and it's sad. We have a great presentation for the First Peoples. We've worked that out. We're going through it. And I mean, we're going to continue on with that. We're going to keep going week after week. But really, we need this presentation. We need Russia landed, regardless of what Canada says. Canada only says that so that they can ruin the case with the UNSCP 5. P5. If you don't have all of them, you have nothing. So it's scary. I've reached out on Twitter to Dmitry Plansky. I wish I could speak Russian. I would go after Vasily Alexeyevich Nebenza, but it's just maybe it's better to focus on Dmitry. I've done very well with him, but he's a busy guy now, as you all know, and I don't know what kind of priority I'm going to find. So tomorrow, calling Moscow, all bets off, just going to keep pounding the pavement. I know I have contacted before, but it's tough with the English and then the person you get on the other end. And I guess we'll see, folks. That's my update. Not extremely great. I mean, it's not the end of anything by no means. I was prepared to go all the way to New York if I had to, and I will do that. Russia will never lose their UNSCP 5 standing. The rest aren't going to give up theirs to destroy Russia, so I can't see that going away. And Twitter responded with releasing at least the UNSCP 5 members, but it's sad. My last email gone now, so I can't confirm that it's still accessible. There's all kinds of emails, folks, but who's looking at the end? Who's got control of that? I don't necessarily know that that's Russia. You need to physically interact with somebody, or at least communicate orally over a phone or through email that you know is theirs because they verbally confirmed it. You can put a face to the voice or vice versa. You know, it's tough. But I will do whatever it takes. And if that means going to New York, so be it. I'm not going to let this just fly and go away. I'm not going to half-ass anything. I never have. But I just want everybody to know that's where we're at. And it's too bad. The biggest enemy always comes around full circle that I've found, and that's the Canadian government. They're always mischievous. They're always low down and dirty. All the political parties. No such thing as right and left here. There's only the crown colonial divine, which is disgusting. It's an alt-right, a radical right, and it's a lunatic left, the alt-left. That's reality, all combined into one sickness called the divinity of a human being. Why we allow monarchies to reign in this day and age, why we allow autocracies or basically unitary states with the same narrative. They can call it the presidential prime minister creation. It's no different than a monarchy. You start reading the nouns, not all of them, but a lot of them. And we're going to go into that tonight. We're going to analyze 3 stories. I'm going to show you 3 different narratives. And that's for all Canadians, all First Peoples and residential school genocide. 3 days, 3 stories tonight, 3 looks, and see what you have to know and recognize, especially when you read constitutions, the highest law of those lands, and you know who you're dealing with. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Bye now.